problem is Northwest. The same people, same culture, killing each other, stealing each other's cattle, burning their villages. As I said, we are going to treat them in the language they will understand. We have given the police and the military power to be ruthless.
Sometimes we get, and that's what's happening to people in the streets. That's where they're moving. That's why they're demonstrating. That's why they're defying even threats from the police, from the government. If you demonstrate, you're a threat to us. If you do this, we'll deal with you. We'll talk to you in language which you understand. It doesn't wash with anybody any longer. Because if the nation is on a suicide slide, the people who feel that they do not deserve that kind of suicidal plunge, they have a right to say, sorry.
The problem is Northwest. The same people, same culture, killing each other, stealing each other's cattle, burning their villages. As I said, we are going to treat them in the language they will understand. We have given the police and the military power to be ruthless.
Hello and welcome everyone to YorExit 2021, where we try to make sense of the self-determination struggles of the various Nigerian tribes. We come alive every Saturday with a new title and a new program from our studios in Dallas, Texas, in the USA. Also, I want you to note, because we keep on getting inquiries about our website. We put resources there on the website every time we have a program, so that most of the things we talk about, you want to go back and look at the references, you go to the website on artusconcepts.com. This is a production of Artus Concepts. In addition, the program runs live on Artus Concepts on YouTube, and the program remains there for you to follow up on whatever is happening. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to that channel. If you are subscribed, you know every update, you know about things that are coming up, and follow up on the chat, on the discussion going on the topics that we discuss here every Saturday. I say that because people I've been asking, we need to repeat this particular edition. We need to do something more about so and so. So discussions are going on these topics, and it's the best way to follow up on development is to subscribe, so you can capture what people are saying in the charts and what's going on. So make sure you subscribe to keep abreast of the intellectual direction of this discussion as we go on about the various tribes and their struggles, to get peacefully out of the entity called Nigeria. Today we are tackling the situation, which we call insecurity in Nigeria. Insecurity could be economic; it doesn't have to be physical only. Versus endorsing criminality. So today, and I can tell you, you need to put your thinking hats on to understand what is really going on. Am I endorsing criminality by not even doing something that I'm supposed to do? With me today in the studio is Reverend Simon Olatunji, and I'm going to introduce him and show him much later, but we're going to be, breaking down this discussion in a little while. So like I said, this discussion is going to be intellectually challenging. It's going to be a lot of mental blending, that we're going to be doing today. So we are looking at who is cooperating with what, who is cooperating with what? So we are, this.
Nigeria has become a union of death for the rest of us. The global powers have told Nigeria in very clear terms that guns should be kept out of the table of discussion, and a dialogue opened up with the owners of the sovereignty, with the people. Time is now to go discuss with the owners of the sovereignty that is now called Nigeria, and to work out constitutions that will work.
So yes, the discussion is going to be very challenging intellectually today. The Ooni of Ife gave this country a challenge a few weeks ago. He said, in all our efforts and calculations, do we have anything for our youth, our children? Particularly those kids who today are on Okada, with PhDs in their pockets, not doing anything. Unfortunately, no one or group has come out to give him an answer to his questions. The list which I've compiled up and we may be able to show you later on include what I call organizations in a civil society, the gatekeepers of democracy. Who am I referring to? I'm talking about the Nigerian Bar Association, the Medical Association, the accountants, the nurses, the engineers. What are these groups doing? Each of these groups, the political parties themselves, what are they doing in where we found ourselves to talk about the insecurity and the challenges facing us? Coming back to the civil societies or civil organizations, or what I call the gatekeepers of our democracy. Government gives them power to run their own businesses, their individual businesses, so as to improve the society. That power works by guaranteeing that their members will not hurt the people. So if you walk into a doctor, there's no policeman, watching you or guiding what the doctor is doing. But because they have been trained and licensed to do what they are doing, the society trusts them to deliver excellent medical practice. That is what these organizations are about. And that is why we call them professionals. Okay? But in addition to those licenses, they have responsibility to societies, at the end of it. For instance, if they misbehave, if they do something wrong in the clinic, or if a lawyer didn't tackle a case the way it's supposed to do it, tackle a case the way it's supposed to handle the case, do you have recourse? How do we amend the situation? What rights do you have? What questions do you need to ask who? And if the government is not supplying something for them to do their work, does that Nigerian Bar Association or the Medical Association or the Nursing Council have questions to ask the government? This is why I say it is going to be very, very challenging today, when we look at, the situation. But when they hurt somebody more closely, which we all know, is what do we do about it? What does the Bar Association stand to do? Do they sanction that erring member? Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have this slide to go. But those of us who have seen the attack on Igbo's residence, for instance, you saw the blood on the floor, the blood on the ground. After that attack, it's an attack. As far as I'm concerned, it's a criminal attack. Maybe because of where I'm living, but I don't know whether that is permissible in Nigeria to kill somebody and drag his dead body on the floor across the house, and we saw it all. We saw it all in the videos. We saw it all. It's all on the screen. So the question is, how could such brutality be allowed? How did things get to that stage that we allowed it? Are we cooperating as a society? Are we cooperating as a people, as individuals, with government in encouraging them to go on with what they are doing? Because if you say, "Oh, it's not my problem, it's not personal, it's not this, oh, I can't afford to face these people," yeah, I mean, I can't challenge them, they are too powerful. Just like we had with the Lagos rally, for instance. We saw the outcome of it. The use of force by the government all over the world, it's monitored and it's guided by certain principles. So the point is, are we actually, by keeping quiet, encouraging what is going on? Till today, the Attorney General of Nigeria has not even bothered to tell anybody what happened. And we have opposition parties in the country. Nobody is even calling for his head. Nobody is asking any questions. Why? He's not facing any court. He's not facing any disciplinary action from anybody. And the doctors are not asking the lawyers. Engineers are not asking their lawyers' colleagues, what's going on? Is anybody safe at all? What happened in Igangan? What happened in Ibarakpa? What's happening in southern Kaduna? What's happening in Benue? Who is responsible? Who is supposed to look at the situation and say, something is not right here? So when we say, cooperating with criminality, you begin to see that by keeping quiet from all these various organizations, you are directly cooperating with criminality. For instance, I can accuse the politicians of, cooperating with such criminality because once they are not even saying anything, everybody is focused on, well, I'm going to win the election, win the next seat for so and so, forgetting that, what happens next after the elections. What happens after the elections? And for individuals, what really happens to you after the elections? So who cares? Or why should they care? Why should they care? And that is what we plan to, take over, in this discussion. So keep it here. Keep it here. We're going to, right after the break, we're going to, tackle this and try to break down the, intellectual challenge of Yeah, sorry for the technical hitch. We're just going to continue with our discussion. So we're talking about the gatekeepers of our democracy. And we are looking at, the ramifications of their complacency, translating into endorsing criminality. Like I said, I have Reverend Simon with me to help me handle this case. Reverend Simon, looking at the intellectual drivers of economic prosperity, our professions, and the attitude that we have on ground, let's start with what do you think? Do you think it's going on?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to once again be part of this program. And I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for always following us in this program of YorExit, Sense and Nonsense. So far, we have covered a lot of things challenging the nation Nigeria, and today I'm so very, very grateful for this very pertinent topic that is brought before us, tackling insecurity or endorsing criminality. Silence in a time of crime, like it has been aptly, analyzed by the host of this program today, is tantamount to crime itself. Because, our elders say that what it takes for falsehood or for evil to prevail is when good men and women keep quiet about it. So I am of the same opinion with our host, Noah Omoluabi. I pitch my tent with him that keeping quiet, because a lot of people in different quarters in Nigeria are professionals and not talking as much. Are they unconcerned? Are they complacent? What is going on? A lot of our obas in Nigeria are not, reacting to the current circumstance that is going on in the nation. And as it were, governors of states who are also chief executives in their own right, and they have some level of power and autonomy, they are able to act as empowered by the people, by the electorate, by the people that brought them into power. Most of these governors, they feel the pain, the heartbeat, the heart cry of the people, and yet unfortunately they have resigned themselves into a passive congenial corner, which is quite unfortunate for the nation at a time like this.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And in fact, another thing that cropped to my mind is this: escaping overseas seems to be some, every young man's view and vision, and drive today. And I begin to wonder in recent time, are they flying away because of some green pastures they may see out there, or because they actually feel that there's so much insecurity in the system? Because I know people who have gone to establish schools in Benin Republic, in Ghana, and even kids running to Sudan to go to school. So it's not just the rich running to America or the US. Why do what do you think about this situation? For people, everybody just wanting to run away from the system.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a very, very pathetic situation that Africans have found themselves, especially Nigeria, because Nigeria used to be the country which other countries in Africa look up to. There was a time I remember, because I was national coordinator of ministry in the Nigerian Baptist Convention, which was the Mother Baptist Convention for all other African countries. And of course, I was also the public relations officer for a period spanning about 12 years in that convention. And I know that many countries of Africa looked up to Nigeria, both for leadership, for sponsorship, for settlement, and for stability. But you see that right now the story is not the same anymore. So the same thing that happened to the integrity of the nation have meted down upon the citizens so much that it does not matter which country Nigerians want to go right now. Nigerians just desperately want to go out. That's why some people are running to Libya. Some people are running to places where it's even worse than, as it were, than what obtains at home. But they just want to escape because of poverty. And you know, poverty is like something that brings anybody in a poor situation sees no hope, because poverty itself is an harasser. It harasses people's consciousness, people's mentality, and a brainwasher for that matter. So I believe very strongly that Nigerians are running out of the country and making their way, exiting the nation to other countries because of the level of poverty. And let me also add that a great majority of Nigerians at home are also resorting to all kinds of criminality. That's why insecurity and poverty are two-way line. You know, where there is poverty, there's going to be insecurity, because the major, recipient of the concomitant effect of poverty are the rural dwellers. And when the burdens of poverty places itself upon people, they try to escape. So rural dwellers are aching to move to urban areas. And when they get there, there is no home, there's no shelter, there's no security. So most of them will invariably become area boys, street people, and they become easy target of politicians for thuggery, for all kinds of things, and the level of insecurity in the nation increases by the day.
Wow. It's just escalating it and making it more difficult. But let's come back to this issue of the government. You know, when we look at the Igboho saga, the Igboho issue, for instance, when the government has to resort to cutting away the dead bodies of people that they killed, just because they want to reach one man, they want to capture one man, and bring him to court or whatever to find evidence, or is that not an overreach on its own? Let's just look at that. Is government not going too far in trying to just to arrest one man or find evidence against him? What?
Yeah, well, there is no doubt about it that the government of Nigeria have resorted into crime in trying to checkmate crime. However, there's no way you can look at it, because Chief Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Igboho, did not commit any crime visible to them, because we have seen dozens going to hundreds, or even, if possible, several hundreds or thousands of videos in which Sunday Igboho came to the public, addressed the public in video clips on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on all kinds of social media. There has never been a time where this young man is seen with arms. The only thing this guy had said consistently is, our people are attacked. We have a government. Let the government defend us. If the government cannot defend us, we are ready to go and formulate an indigenous nation of our own, where we will have respite, where we will have confidence in self-government. If we cannot trust the federal government of Nigeria anymore, that is an agitation. That is not a crime. Under a democracy, especially both in the United Nations or the world over, there is freedom of speech. In democracy, people are free to express their frustration. When you push people to the wall, they will speak out. Then talking about the manner in which the home of Sunday Igboho was attacked on the night of July the 1st, I believe.
Yeah.
On the night of July the 1st, it shows how, very, very low the federal government of Nigeria can descend, because it's a show of shame, and it's an indictment on everybody involved in the corridor of power in Nigeria, because hitherto our Senate have not come up with a decisive statement about that. They have not made their position known. We have House of Representatives in Nigeria. Bear in mind that these people are like, puppets in the hands of somebody who is supposed to be a democratically elected president of Nigeria, who has made himself a despot. Now, that's, in my own opinion, President Muhammadu Buhari's rule so far, the first 4 years, and maybe the imposed second tenure, which many people are in contention against. Many people believe that second re-election, the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari, is even a product of fraud. Well, I am not a judge, I'm not a lawyer. That is left for the skilled, the skilled system of justice in Nigeria to decide. And if they won't, so be it. But what we are saying is that it's obvious that the government of Nigeria has failed the people and has failed democracy in the manner in which civilians are handled, especially when they are demonstrating their right to speak.
Thank you, sir. We will come back to the issue of the use of force in some greater detail in a minute. But as you speak, it occurred to me, a political question somebody had asked me before. That is, why it seems to be that we tend to have generals as presidents. Why is that? Why do we always have, why must it be a general who will be our president? And if that must be the case, because we've had situations where they fear that the members of the military may not respond, may not want to obey a civilian head of state that is not from the north. If you're a civilian and you are not from the north, you are essentially nobody. We've had that, it's a rumor, it's not been proven. But when you start having people who take off their uniform, and then the moment they take off their uniform, they're either in the Senate or they are running for presidency, are we not looking for overuse of force? Because when you look at for instance, the intro video that we had, for instance, the introductory video, definitely shows, President Muhammadu Buhari, actually threatening people. That's the president of a country, threatening his subjects, his constituents, actually threatening to, use force and show them what they really want, show them what they really want. That's the president of a country in a democracy. So my question is it not an overreach? I mean, should we not start looking at the role of these military men, as they take off their uniform and they become, legislators, because they are the ones that have the money to run for the polls, or they are the ones that have the money or, the power to influence certain things. If they are not in the military, if they are not in the legislature, they are in the ministry, or they are an ambassador. So they are influencing, they are actually running the state. And to them, it's not strange, to use force against somebody who is against, who they think is rude. And that's exactly the kind of language Buhari used when he was talking about NSAS. That what are these kids? Who are these kids? Where did they come from? Why were they planning a coup against him? As far as he was concerned, all those boys, all the things the people were talking about was a coup. They were being rude to him. They wanted him out of power for whatever reason. So do we need to come out of that psychology of, even if they remove their uniform, a general is always a general. That thing is not going to leave them alone. Any contribution?
Well, thank you very much. The problem still remains the constitution of the country, the way the current, and that is part of the reason we, the people, Nigerians, are calling for a total demolition of that 1999 constitution, because the constitution is what politicians use largely to maneuver and manipulate what happens, what obtains in the emergence of a new leader in Nigeria. What I will say is this: everybody has right. That's a given. Let's first of all clarify that. Whether an ex-military or a non-military or a serving military, everybody under law, every citizen of a nation has equal right in democracy to contest, as long as you are qualified, you have attained the age, the contestable age, you have attained some other prerequisite to office. If you resign your position to public service, you resign your position, you are not actively serving in the military, you are qualified to participate in politics. However, the problem is this: Nigeria has been run in a way as if it is the same people that has right and that has the power and the sensibility to run the nation. The same people. And unfortunately, that has never been helpful to the country. So where shall we go from here? I think what we need now is not a debate as to who is qualified or who is not. If Nigeria is going to continue as a nation, if Nigeria is going to survive this torrent of self-determination agitation, which I doubt, and I repeat, which I doubt, because the country has gotten to a state, or President Muhammadu Buhari himself has, proven to Nigerians beyond bound that his leadership is either not interested in the continuance or continuation of the nation, or interested in, sabotaging the constitution and supporting a nepotistic government or a nepotistic interest to favor his own tribe, because every indication shows that President Muhammadu Buhari is not interested in the suffering of any other autonomous indigenous nationality as he is about his own caliphate men and women. For instance, Nigerians have cried over the years that videos are out. The caliphate, the Fulanis, making videos and displaying harms and claiming to have perpetuated a lot of killings, a lot of sexual harassment of our girls, a lot of havocs happening in the villages, and no one of them has been brought to book. No one of them has been, not a single house of a Fulani has been attacked by DSS. No single person have been arrested. And the videos are so enormous and viral. But the government of Muhammadu Buhari has failed to make public statement, and we have even seen northern governors, posing in photographs with terrorist organization, with armed bandits holding AK-47. We have photos of governors and northern leaders in the public domain on social media, and their faces are there. It's real them, and nobody has brought them to justice. Now, why is Sunday Igboho under attack? Why are they after him? For bringing you into book, for calling for justice. So it only shows a despotic tendency by our leader. It shows that our leaders are nepotistic. It's a nepotic government, already trying to do ethnic cleansing. It shows caliphate ethnic agenda.
Yes,
So
in fact, I was
Nigeria,
I was just going to because I was just going to bring us back into notice, because if you remember when they arrested Nnamdi Kanu recently, the Attorney General had to address the nation in Hausa language, and people have been asking why. And the only reason is that he has to tell his Mieti Allah sponsors or whatever in a language that they will understand. Yeah, we got him. And Mieti Allah continues to post bounties on people's head, in the country, along with the government. And we see the government acting, in response to the proddings of Mieti Allah, which talks to the nepotism of the state, what you were talking about. And which takes us to, because of our time, let's just quickly brush this issue of the use of force in a failed state like Nigeria. We've all agreed Nigeria is a failed state. Is the use of force, it's a failed state because one is using force to prevent masses from massing together, masses from gathering together. A democracy should allow protest, just like you said before. They may be right, they may be wrong. We can put that to vote, but that's what a democracy is called. Is what about everybody has a say. You have a chance to say something to the government and to the people. But this government is so bent on making sure that nobody talks, nobody says anything against his agenda, which is the 2023 elections. It's very clear. The Buhari has said that it's 2023 elections. So the extent that they have to use foreign operatives, we've seen their traces all over, and they were very clear on the video that when they went to Igboho's house. And the link is there on our website. You can go and listen to it. They kill, they maim, they abduct, and whatever. Meanwhile, a single car that was stolen, they traced it all the way and they found it going to Ghana, which means foreigners are involved in our insecurity system. If the car didn't have security issues, a tracker on it, that's how the car would have gone with that person. We have a government that's supposed to protect us from such infiltration from foreigners and stuff. But the same government is using foreigners, to molest individuals, and that's why I call it criminal. The point is, if you continue to cooperate and allow these things to happen as if you don't know, then you are endorsing criminality. And this is why I, as a person, I'm calling on all the professionals, because that is one of their responsibilities, to take care of the people, to show concern when things are not going right. Whether you like it or not, wherever Banana Island or Republic that you are living in, the people that took off from Iyano Ikpaja at that time to try and attempt to Bodilon Street and were waylaid on the way during the COVID crisis, they are still there. They can still come out. They will still come out for you when it gets to the point. So if you pretend, by keeping their mouth shut with, with with little things, or the politicians that are waiting that you're going to give $1,000 or 1,000 naira to people to collect their voters registration cards like you normally do, same old, same old. You need to be careful and rethink these things. The insecurity is worsening, and if people don't take time to come into the system to challenge it, it's going to backfire on everybody. I'm going to ask you, Reverend Simon, as we're going on. I see most of the things that we have been discussing about as the government trying to create fear, trying to instigate fear or create fear in the minds of agitators mainly, or the people that are crying for self-determination. Where does that get us? How does that help our security, or the people themselves?
Thank you very much. The situation is going to get to a point in which there will be state of anarchy. When you push people to the wall, the democracy is not yielding its dividend, the people will fight. There will be revolution. Of course, we are almost getting there. Now, there was nothing like Sunday Igboho some years back. There was nothing like Nnamdi Kanu some years back. What gave rise to the agitations of these people is the failure of the government. The breaking down, the weakening of government, of the arms of government, the corruption by the judiciary. The judiciary is not uninclusive of the corruption, because the judiciary is the curb, is supposed to be the curb, the balance. But there are no balance. There's no checks and balances in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the judiciary has been used as a weapon of demonizing individuals in Nigeria. For instance, the situation of Nigeria has become a clear case of he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And that is why up till now, there is no single motion for impeachment in the House. Even up till now. Look at the present situation in Nigeria. We have exhausting institutions, depleting resources, weakening of leaders, crushing of hope, extreme poverty, all kinds of instability, lack of peace, civil unrest, pockets of unrest everywhere, bloodletting and killing, all kinds of war crimes perpetuated around the nation. We see bloodletting everywhere, and the government is so passive about it. The president is so unconcerned about it, and the only thing you see him talk about right now is the waterway bills or whatever it is. And he's so interested in pushing the interest of his own tribe, of his own people. Now, when they are perpetuating evil, he's not concerned. It will get to a time when, now, he is looking for one person. Before he knows it, he will have to look for 1,000, because many more Sunday Igbohos will rise up. Many more Nnamdi Kanus will rise up. Many more, because people will react. When you put, there is there is an aphorism among my people that says that, let me quote Chinua Achebe in his African trilogy, Things Fall Apart. He said, Nneka the birds said that since the hunters have learned to shoot without missing, it has also learned to fly without perching. So, as long as the government of Nigeria have resorted into their shoddy deals with people, maneuvering and manipulating people's life and dealing in unconstitutional, machinations, the civilians will cry out. the civilians, it's like an indirect empowering of the people. When you weaken the masses, you are empowering them for revolution. That's what you are doing. When you weaken the morale of the masses, you are doing a reverse empowerment. You are empowering them to react. And of course, a state is, a level that we are at right now is something that the United Nations, the international, for instance, the President Muhammadu Buhari have been charged to ICC twice now. He has been charged to International Criminal Court 2 times. The first one was in 2011, just shortly after the Kenyatta, the former president of Kenya, was discharged by the ICC of all his allegations. Nigerians brought up the issue of post-electoral, opera and all kinds of killing that happened, resulting to 800 dead in 2011 or thereabout. So now another charge has been, leveled against him for war crime right now, for aiding the Fulanis and abetting their killings, or acting in rude unconcern, in very loud silence, and reacting as if he is, weaponizing his political office to demonize people who are calling for justice, such as Chief Sunday Igboho and other people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's rather deep. It's rather deep. But the problem of Nigeria is for us all to get up and think about doing something. What are we doing about the situation? Either cooperating with it or not cooperating with it to endorse criminality of the Buhari regime. When they displayed the electoral map of the people that registered, and I saw it, and we'll be discussing that a lot next week, and I saw that a lot of Southerners actually rushed to go and register for the election. Now, that worries me, and in fact, I asked some people, and they say, they may stop us from going to school. If we don't present they may stop our kids from going to school. They may be asking for voters' cards and stuff like that. Because at this point in time, I'm not sure that even your kids will be going to school after the election. If you cooperate with what is going on, and the elections goes ahead, and they select the people they normally will select, it's same old, and you do nothing about it, then you can expect that it will be same old after the election. What you have now is what you're going to have after, or even worse. Because, Miyetti Allah has told you clearly, the land belongs to us. They've been trying, on the ground, trying to take it over and stuff like that, but it's now in the open. So they are going to actually shove it to your face and take it over. Everybody's complaining, they've put all Northerners in this kind of position and that kind of position, even though the revenue that the country depends on is from the South and stuff like that. All of that is going to continue on an exponential tangent. So what can you do? What are you supposed to do as an individual and as a group? For example, as intellectuals hearing me right now, I would expect you to be asking your body. Let's say you are an engineer. You need to be asking Koren, what are they doing? Why is nobody talking about the Attorney General, Malami? You need to be asking these questions. You may not be able to come out on the street to join any rally or whatever, but you need to be asking yourself and your organization what's going on, because it's going to backfire. It's going to come back at you at some point in time. That's for professionals. That's for the guardians of our democracy. If you think you are going to be continuing to run this democracy as it is, wait for election 2023 and see what will happen. To the contrary, for those of the people who are agitating, I will encourage you, like Nina said, go and register in the referendum that says you want out. You need to go and register. It affects you in many ways. But next week, to be honest with you, we will be dealing with that topic of, suspend 2023 versus same old, same old. Same old means you have the election, Buhari wins, and he puts whoever he likes, he installs them in the place, like all the politicians are cooperating with him to make happen. That happens, and life continues. Life continues. You can complain to hellfire that only one man's trucks or trailers are allowed in the border. Only one man is allowed this. Why is he allowed? Why my own trucks cannot cross the border or carry tomato from so and so place to the other? This is how these things happen, and they run. Where is prosperity going this way and not coming our own way? Why must our own kids go to school, come out with the first degree, go on with the second degree, go on with the third one, get a PhD, only to come out and ride Okada? Only to come out and ride Okada. That is what is going to happen if you don't do something. If you keep quiet about, the whatever is going on right now. So that's what we will be dealing with next week. Are we going to be having, are we going to be having the situation? Are we going to be continuing as it is? Are we going to, have elections? Are you going to cooperate with the government, cooperate with what's going on, and force the same old situation? Well, like I keep on saying, the best way to stay with us is just make sure you subscribe. You will not miss anything. Subscribe. Go to our channel, artusconcepts.com, and subscribe so that you don't miss nothing. Okay? Yeah, you can put this. So, but next week, transition and in. So next week we'll be looking at this very topic of, either you're going to cooperate with Ninas to suspend the elections by, demanding referendum. Just go to their website and fill the form. Or you're going to have same old, election 2023 and allow Buhari to do whatever he wants. Once again, thank you, Reverend Simon, for joining me on this program. And I hope we have put in a good seed in your spirit to think about what's going on, and what are the implications of the current trends we're having and where it's leading on to. So that next week, by the time we come next week, we are all on the same page, understanding in more detail as to what to do and where to go. I'm Noah Omoluabi from Dallas, Texas, on YorExit 2021.